Hey everybody, my name's Ryan. Welcome back to another episode of Sprout Tutorials. Today we're going to be looking at how to install the 64-bit Raspberry Pi OS. You may be wondering why you would need 64-bit, not 32. Well, if you have a Raspberry Pi 4, like I have, and it has 8 gigabytes of RAM, the 32-bit cannot utilize all 8 gigabytes of RAM. It can only utilize 4. So if you install this new OS, you can utilize all 8. So let's get right into it. I've got a little notepad here kind of showing us step-by-step what to do so you can read along with me. So the first thing you want to do is download the 64-bit beta OS. It is in beta, just to remember that. So, maybe instead of clobbering your old operating system, you can get a new SD card and kind of play around with this and see if you like it. I've linked this into the description below. Go ahead and download the .zip, open it, and inside will be a .img file. Next, what you're going to do is, of course, unzip it and get the .img to the Pi imager. So let me open that up. Again, I'll link this in the description below. Raspberry Pi website, the Raspberry Pi website, offers this to do new operating systems, which is pretty cool. So we're going to choose our OS. Again, they recommend doing the 32-bit because it's stable, but we're going to scroll all the way down here to use custom. Okay, and then on our desktop here, we're going to click the bullseye ARM64 lite.img. Okay, next we're going to choose our storage. Here's my SD card reader. Remember, you need an SD card reader to do this. So let's click that, and then we'll click write. And it'll say, are you sure you want to do this? Just go ahead and click yes. Again, make sure nothing on here is something you need because it's about to be clobbered. So let's do it. Okay, and then it'll, of course, ask you for your password. Let's type that in. And there it goes. It's writing the new operating system on your SD card. I will go ahead and speed this part up, so join me again when it's done writing. Okay, great. It looks like it has been written and we can now remove the SD card from the reader. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the SD card reader and then I'm going to plug it right back in. And I'm going to go ahead and close out of here and you'll see here is our boot. So next what we want to do is we're going to open our terminal, which we have done already. And we are going to type touch and then we're going to drag boot over here. Okay, we'll go back a bit. We'll do /SSH. And what this is doing is enabling SSH. So notice that we're not using a keyboard. We're not using, well, we're using the keyboard on this computer, but normally you need to plug in the Raspberry Pi to another monitor and use a keyboard and a mouse. We're not doing any of that. We're doing this completely headless, which is great. So now if we open boot, we can scroll down here, and this little SSH bit means that SSH is now enabled on our Raspberry Pi. So let's go ahead and eject this. Great. So now I'm going to go plug in, or I'm going to go put this SD card into my Raspberry Pi, and we will be back when that is up and running, and we will continue. Okay, everybody. So let's keep going here. Next, what we're going to do, of course, insert microSD to Raspberry Pi. I've done that. Let's ping our rp.local to make sure it is online and working. Remember, your Raspberry Pi should have some sort of internet connection. Mine has an Ethernet connection and power. It is plugged in. So I'm going to do ping raspberrypi.local, and hopefully we should get a response here. Raspberrypi.local. Cool, there it is trying. Request timeout. Hopefully this will, okay, there it is, great. So let's go ahead and do Control-C. We know that it's online now. Next, we want to SSH for the first time into the new Pi. Okay, so we're going to do SSH pi at raspberrypi.local. Okay, and we should get a warning. Great, that's really awesome because that's step number 8. We should get a warning. Normally this comes up when we are writing. I've done a headless installation for a couple of Raspberry Pis. So this is essentially saying your computer's like, hey, this looks fishy. Why are you installing so many? So I believe a easy workaround this, I'm going to do clear here. Step 9, we're going to do type, we're going to do ssh-keygen, do -big R Raspberry Pi .local. Okay, and that should fix things. So let's try it again. We'll do ssh pi at raspberry pi .local. Okay, great. Now we can type yes. And are you sure you want to continue? Type yes. We're going to do our password. Remember, the default password for these, I believe, is raspberry. So let's do raspberry. And we're in. Great. You have just set up a headless operating system, or you've activated your operating system headlessly, which is pretty cool. Next, just a few system admin things. Probably want to change the host name if you don't know how to do that. First, we'll type hostname, and you'll see that it's Raspberry Pi. So what we can do is sudo hostname ctl set-hostname, and I'm going to call this one rp1 just for Raspberry Pi 1. Press enter, do hostname again, boom, there it is. Let's clear it. Then you can do sudo reboot if you want. I guess I'll do that since we're going to do all this together. And the next step is we're going to be SSHing into our Pi with our new host name. We will change our password. Just that's good practice. You know, if people are trying to be malicious and get into your Raspberry Pi, the very first thing they're going to do is try the default password. So you probably want to change that. And then we'll hop into Raspi config to see if we want to modify anything. So I hope it is up and running. Let's try it. We're going to do ssh pi at rp1. I think I need to type .local. I'm not sure. Ooh, we got that error message again. Okay, let's try ssh pi at rp1. Okay, okay, this is interesting. Did not expect this to happen. Ssh pi at rp1. Maybe it's because it's not online yet. I hope that's the case. Let's do ping pi. We'll do ping rp1.local. Okay, so it looks like it's trying here again. Okay, there it is. So it's online now. So let's just, again, we'll try ssh r. Oh, okay, yeah, ssh pi at rp1. Ssh pi at rp1.local. Huh, okay, we are getting a warning that it doesn't like this. So I'm not sure what to do. Give me a minute. I will be back here momentarily. Sorry about that, but I believe I figured out the problem. So we basically just want to run this command again because, I don't know, it's very suspicious of us. So what we're going to do again is we're going to do ssh keygen big R, and then we're going to do the new name, which is rp1.local. Okay. So we'll press enter, found. Okay, it says our hosts are updated. So now what we're going to do is, again, we're going to try again, number 13 here. We're going to do ssh pi at rp1.local. I think that's what we need. Okay, we're going to say yes. Great, this is looking good. Again, we'll do our default password of Raspberry. And we're in. Lovely. Next, like I said, we should probably change our password. So we're going to do what? We're just going to type in PASSWD. We're going to change our password to something better. Okay. Oh, it's asking for the current password. I'm sorry. So password. The current password is Raspberry. New password. Okay. Great. You must choose a longer password. See, this is good security. Okay. Cool. All right, updated successfully. Great. So now the last step here, we can do sudo raspi config. And this is just really up to you if you want to do anything. I'm not going to do anything here. But if you want to, you can. So that is it, everybody. We have headlessly installed a new operating system, 64-bit Raspberry Pi OS. Thanks for watching, and